Hi, Phil Plait from badastronomy.com here. You know, there's something I want to clear up. There's a lot of stuff floating around out there on the web and on YouTube, videos and web pages, about an asteroid called 2007 TU24. And what these websites and these videos are saying is that this thing is going to pass by the Earth and it's going to wreak havoc on the planet, going to cause fires and earthquakes and all kinds of stuff. And I'm going to go into details about this during this video, but right off the bat, what I want to get out there right now is that there is no danger from this asteroid at all. Nothing. It's going to miss us by a long way. There's no way it can affect us from that distance. And, you know, all this stuff you're hearing about is garbage, basically. It's just made up nonsense. But here are the details, okay? 2007 TU24 is a small asteroid. It's about 100 to 400 yards across. It's hard to tell exactly how big these asteroids are from a long way off, so you have to kind of estimate the size. But we know it's not much bigger than about 400 yards. It's going to pass by the Earth on the morning of January 29th, about 8:30 in the morning, Universal Greenwich time in England. So it's roughly around midnight, January 28th, 29th in the United States, for example. It's going to miss us actually by a substantial amount, over 300,000 miles. That is a long way. That is well past the orbit of the moon. And it cannot hurt us unless it directly impacts us. Asteroids cannot affect us here on the ground at all unless they hit us. And this thing is going to miss us by a lot. Now, to give you an idea of the perspective scale of this, I have my little squishy rubber earth ball of science here. And it's about 2 inches across. Now, if this is the Earth, okay, and let's pretend that this is the asteroid. Now, this is not to scale here. These are about the same size, but the models are, I mean. But the Earth is 8,000 miles across, and this asteroid is 1/4 of a mile across. So on this scale, the asteroid would really be about the size of a bacterium. It would be very tiny. But let's just pretend that this is the asteroid. In fact, this is in fact a meteorite that fell to the Earth from an asteroid. So, you know, realism, science. This is an actual, you know, metal from space. It's cool. So if this is the asteroid and this is the Earth, to scale for the Earth, how far away is this going to miss us by? And it's going to miss us by over 300,000 miles. It's going to miss us by 40 times the diameter of the Earth. And 40 times the diameter of this model is 7 feet. Now, I'm only, you know, 6 feet or so tall. I can't even get my arms out far enough to show you how far the asteroid is going to miss the Earth by, okay? So on this scale, I mean, it's more than this, about a foot more than my outstretched arms. So the asteroid is going to miss us by, you know, a huge margin. It's not even going to get close. All right. So what's the deal? Why are people, you know, panicking about this? Well, the reason they're panicking about it is because people are putting out these videos that are saying that even if this thing misses, it's going to affect the Earth. And the way they say it's going to affect the Earth is that this asteroid has, if it has a negative electric charge and it passes by the Earth's magnetic field, which somehow has a positive electric charge, there's going to be some sort of connection, electrical connection, and it'll cause earthquakes and fires and lightning, and that's all garbage. That's all crap. It's not right at all. First of all, large objects cannot carry a big charge, a big negative charge. As soon as you take something with a big negative charge and put it near anything else, it tends to draw in positive charges or give off those electric charges to something positive, connecting the circuit, and it's done. The thing is, you just can't generate that size of a charge on something like an asteroid. It won't work. It'll just floating out there in space with the solar wind blowing past it, it'll become electrically neutral again. Now, these guys claim that there are charges that flow in space, and that's true. The sun is always blowing off a solar wind, and it's made up of charged particles. But they're the same number of negative and positive particles. So overall, the solar wind has a neutral charge. It has zero charge. So that claim doesn't make any sense either. Plus, even if this asteroid could somehow have an electric charge, a negative charge, it's not going to pass by the Earth close enough to be able to do anything with that. And you see in these videos the asteroid passing by the Earth and the Earth magnetic field flaring up. Again, baloney, garbage, crap. It's not going to work that way. Recently, the distance estimate to the asteroid turned out to be closer than was originally thought. Well, why is that? Well, it turns out that really far in advance, it's kind of hard to tell exactly where an asteroid's going to be, because you measure its position, you take pictures of the sky with the asteroid in it, and you can't measure the position perfectly accurately. And so the farther you try to extrapolate that in the future, the fuzzier its path gets. And as you get closer to the time when it's going to pass the Earth, you can nail down the orbit better and better. And so we're getting more telescopes on it, and as it gets closer to the time when this thing passes by, the orbit gets refined. And right now, still, even though the orbit was refined to bring it in a little bit closer to the Earth, it doesn't matter. It's still going to miss us by hundreds of thousands of miles, so that's not an issue. Now, of course, I've been writing about this on my blog, badastronomy.com, and in the comments I'm getting the usual sort of accusations whenever I try to bring a dose of reality into anti-science or people's conspiracy theories or whatever. Suddenly I'm part of the conspiracy. NASA is paying me to spread disinformation. I get all these accusations, and that's ridiculous. If you go to my blog, you'll see on the right-hand side there are categories. Click on the NASA category and read what I've said about NASA. Or better yet, search for Mike Griffin's name in my blog and see how I feel about NASA. NASA does a lot of great things. The Hubble Space Telescope and exploring Saturn and Mercury recently, that stuff's fantastic. When it comes to the government side of it, the administrative side with it, I have a lot of problems with it. And so saying that I am a shill for NASA, when my friends read that, they just crack up. They're like, really? That's ridiculous. And it is ridiculous. There's nothing to cover up here. Look, if there were an asteroid that were going to come towards the Earth and it were going to hit us, and astronomers knew this, or we knew that it was going to affect us in some way, we would be screaming it off the rooftops. There are a whole bunch of astronomers like me, like Fraser Cain from Universe Today, like Neil Tyson at the Hayden Planetarium in New York, who are eager to talk to the public about astronomy. If we knew that something like this was going to happen, some asteroid was going to hit us, we would be all over this. I'd be making YouTube videos about it. It would be on my blog. I'd be calling CNN and MSNBC and making sure that people knew about this. We wouldn't cover it up. We would tell you guys, believe me. And you know what? Don't believe me. Look at the evidence for yourself. I've already shown you how you can start looking into this to see how this thing's not going to affect us. But I have a wife, I have a daughter, and if I thought that there was some danger from space that were really imminent, really a problem, I would be gone. I wouldn't be in my house making YouTube videos about it. That's silly. There's no reason to cover this up. And, you know, I guess there's an irony here. Astronomy is fantastic. It's my favorite science, obviously. I get very fired up about it. I love going out and looking at the stars. And so it makes me really upset when people use astronomy to scare people. The whole Planet X saga from 2003, the Mayan calendar, and asteroid impacts and all this stuff makes me angry. In my opinion, the people who are using astronomy, or just any sort of science, to scare you for whatever reasons, these are the lowest form of life there is. You know, maybe they're con men, and then they're really scum if they really are lying on purpose. Maybe they're trying to make money or get famous or whatever. Maybe they honestly believe this and they're just wrong. But there's tons of information out there. It's so easy to find this stuff if you go out and look for it. And, you know, it's easier to find the correct information than it is to make a YouTube video with misinformation on it. And so those people, I don't excuse them either. It's not hard to get the right information. You can go to my website, you can go to Astronomy Picture of the Day, and there are tons of links there. There are astronomy websites everywhere. You can find out all you want to know about asteroids. And, you know, so the bottom line is, 2007 TU24, going to miss us by over 300,000 miles. There's no way it can electrically connect with us and cause disasters or anything like that. Asteroids like this, 400 yards across, that pass within a few 100,000 miles, statistically speaking, pass us every few years, every 5 years. And yet you never see, you know, newspaper headlines saying asteroid causes, you know, fires in California or electric storms or whatever, because it doesn't happen. It's garbage. The bottom line, TU24 is not a danger to the Earth this time. It is a potentially hazardous asteroid in that it passes near us, and who knows what it's going to do 20 years from now, so it's a good idea for us to keep track of it. But on this pass, clean miss, no connection, you won't even know it, you won't even know it'll have passed by. It's just going to sail on past the Earth and head back out into space. There is nothing to worry about, folks. Astronomy is cool, it's beautiful, it should not be used to scare people unless there really is something to be scared about. And if that ever happens, I will be on top of it, I promise. Thanks for watching. For badastronomy.com, I'm Phil Plait.